Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Charlie Pankey's podcast here. Just realized I have all the sun glow on my face here. Hope you're doing well wherever you're at today in the Sierra. We are bringing our weekly show here to you, and we're excited about today. We're going to be talking about some holiday traditions today, talking about snow in the Sierra and current snow conditions. So as your weekend here is about ready to hit in the Sierra, we hope that you're ready to get in the Sierra, hit snowshoe, cross country ski, get the ski slopes hit, whatever's on your family agenda. But the Sierra is looking great. It is beautiful right now, about mid-50s here in the Carson Valley, and things are looking great, but heavily mountain. We can see they're making snow up there all the time. All of our night skies have been getting cold, so we've been making snow on the mountains at the resorts. So if you're a skier, things are looking great for early season. Hopefully, looks like the next storm system might be mid-December, so we got about a week, maybe a week and a half before we see weather again here in the Sierra. So wherever you're at, buckle in today. We got about a 30-minute show, just myself again today, but just some updates. I do have some guests lined up for next week and the following week, so the guests are starting to schedule out for the first of the year, and we'll bring some great guests coming up here. We're super excited about that. But buckle up. First of all, as always, I want to make sure we shout out to our sponsors at the Carson Valley, our home base for all of our adventures. It's beautiful here today, bluebird sky, mountains right out our window. If you've never been to the Carson Valley, it's a great time to come to the Carson Valley. It's a little bit slower. And the snow Sierra, and we have the dry desert and river valley down here. Just a great time to be in the valley. Lots of things to do. We got over 100-mile trails in town here. We've got fishing down at Topaz Lawn still going on for winter, and it just a quick access to Lake Tahoe, Alpine County, and everything else. Highway 395 just runs right through us. So, but it's a great place to be. So here's a quick note from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. And I just want to do a real quick shout out to the Carson Valley. Thanks so much for being a sponsor this year, 2024. It's been a great year for us at the podcast here. It's a first experience. I don't know how about you, but we just got our Spotify Wrap of the Year. And it's really cool. We got the Spotify Wrap of the Year for our podcast as well. And, shout out. I'm going to shout out I don't actually know your name, but 4 fans out there. We're your number one podcast. I want to shout out and say thank you very much, whoever you are. For about 72 of you, we're in the top 10, so I'll take that as well. So very cool to have this audience, a new place for us to express our voice and be a little creative with the content we're putting out in the Sierra. So thank you wherever you're at coming in. I understand we're in 9 countries that listen to us, so a lot of exciting things. The number one episode of the year was about immigrant wilderness. That's fascinating to me because I only did it once, but immigrant wilderness is an area we talked about some horseback riding, immigrant wilderness. It was by far the most listened to podcast we have for the year. I think our horse guys probably spread the word a little bit. So it's really nice, really cool. And we've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of different topics this year on the show. We've talked about backpacking. We've had some great interviews, backcountry skiing. I forget all the shows. I'll list them up. I'll tell you what, before the end of the year, I'll do a best of 2024, and we'll do a rewind of all the cool content that we did this year on the show. We had guests for gear companies on. We did a lot of different cool stuff, but I'm not going to rattle them off here today. But I want to get in today is some holiday tradition stuff. It is coming into Christmas season. We hope you and your families are preparing for a great holiday. The mountains in Tahoe and people come skiing. I know it's just a big time for family getaways and stuff. And I was on the phone call with a friend of mine this week. And one of our family traditions that we always do that I just love is I'm kind of a Griswold. I like going out and getting my Christmas tree from the National Forest. Been doing it since I was a kid in Oregon, and when I moved to Sierra, I learned some spots where trees I like are at. So me and my family, day after Thanksgiving, if not Saturday, always pack up in the morning. We head to the mountains, go get our Christmas trees, trounce around the mountains all over the place until we find a tree we like, and then we bring it home and we decorate it and do the whole thing for the weekend. That's kind of our family tradition. Matter of fact, for me, it's almost better than Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving, my wife works her butt off to put on a great meal, and we really appreciate that from her. But this year, like my kids, we didn't have big Thanksgiving dinner because they have grown adult lives and they have other family members and things to do. So a little bit lower key, but we got to get together still and do our Christmas tree in the morning, which is really cool. Now for us, we go outside of Markleyville. We're in the Humboldt-Toyobe National Forest land. And, $10 permit and just walk through the snow until you find your tree. In my location right now, I actually have to cross a river, which is always a little hairy in the wintertime because there was more water this year. So my feet got a little wet, but, good pair of wool socks, good pair of weather boots, and it handles pretty well. So needless to say, I found my tree. Really happy about it this year, and we got to bring it home. And if you don't know about Christmas tree, and this is my friend, this is that caught my interest, is that he didn't realize that was such a big deal, right? And he actually wasn't even sure that that was good. It was like you see the confusion on his face. A lot of people don't know that when you go out and get Christmas trees, it's actually part of the forest management plan. It's an idea of helping thin and control the natural forest. So there's lots of rules when you go get Christmas trees, and there's a lot of areas in the Sierra to get a Christmas tree at. But you have rules like have to be within 10 feet of another tree. Closer the better. You know, they want to get rid of clusters of trees. Can only be so high. Can only have a stump so round, like 6 inches. I think is max for the diameter of the tree. Um, there's a bunch of rules, and everybody has different styles. My kid's got a juniper tree this year. I've never seen a juniper tree as a Christmas tree, but it's gorgeous, and they did a great job. So they said it smells great and it's loaded in the house. But that is our annual tradition. We get up and we'll get up and take a little handsaw with us. I've seen people have their little chainsaws. My dad used to pack the hot cocoa and the lunches and stuff, and we seem to have gotten away from that tradition. But when I was a kid in Oregon, we used to go to much deeper snow, I think, and we'd spend all day out there playing the snow while we got our Christmas tree and came home and decorated it in lots of different ways. So my first question for you today, here's what I want you to respond down below, especially if you're on YouTube watching. Thanks a lot. But what is your family tradition? Are you a go get your tree, natural tree, even if it's a tree farm or a natural tree from a lot, or are you a fake tree person? You poor souls. No, I'm just kidding. Because some people don't have the opportunity, right? Fake trees, the only thing that makes viable sense. They can use it over and over and over again, and they budget friendly that way. Even though $10 and a little bit of gas, I think is pretty good experience. So, my wife and I were big natural tree people. I've only bought a tree I think once or twice in my life from a lot. I'm always going out in the woods. I have some pretty good stories of long all-day adventures, especially in Boise, Idaho. We have to go a long ways to find a Christmas tree, and so yeah, it can be a lot of fun. But one of the things I do during the summer is locate places where trees might be. And understand what national forests are in. So, like in Plumas County right now, they're pushing Christmas trees. El Dorado County, you can do them in the Loon Lake area in the Crystal Basin. Cannot do Lake Tahoe this year. So Lake Tahoe Basin closed theirs down, except for fourth graders who are on that free fourth grade permit program the Forest Service has. And there's no other Christmas trees inside the basin. That's supposed to be a temporary closure of that, maybe a year or two as they let the regrowth and repopulate trees. Again, part of the forest management program that we have going on. It's across the nation, and so it's a good thing to do. So that's one of our family traditions. So love to see here some of yours. Thanksgiving is always a fun time for family. But as our kids grew up and stuff, it's changed a lot for us. So I just wanted to throw those out to you. The other holiday traditions that's really awesome in the Sierra is when the snow falls, get around Christmas season, is all our small, historic, local towns have their own Christmas celebration, right? They tree lightings, parades, Santa Claus into town, the whole 9 yards. So there's some really cool ones around. I was in Sonora last week, and they were doing their lighting in town and parade in Sonora last week. This week, tomorrow, the Carson Valley, our hometown, we have a great Christmas celebration. They actually Highway 395 goes right through the middle of our town. So it is the main street through our town. And we actually close that road for 3 hours. So people, when they get to town, they all of a sudden don't know about it. There's a detour and it adds an extra couple miles, maybe 5 miles to their drive, 5-6 miles, because they close the main street and we do a big family parade. Everybody brings their floats and there's candy and it all ends at the park for the tree lighting and cocoa and Santa, and it's just a really small town, great feel. And even as our county's grown, it's still something we do. Matter of fact, we've kind of split it up. Last night, Gardnerville, which is the Carson Valley is Minden, Gardnerville, Genoa, right? So Gardnerville did theirs last night and actually had fireworks. And in Genoa, I didn't look it up, but they're there this weekend too, I'm pretty sure. The other one's going on in the area is Virginia City. We're right here next to Carson City, and Carson City does a great job downtown as well. They do theirs in downtown, but Virginia City started their Comstock Christmas. We're actually going to have a guest next week on our show from the Virginia area because they've got some really cool stuff going on new in December this year, including a new drone show I hear. So I was really interested in talking to them about the drone show. I believe that's coming up next weekend, maybe in Virginia City. But Cowboy Christmas, how can you go wrong? I'm sure there's a dozen other places in the Sierra that have these festivals. Next question, do you like going to Christmas festivals? Are you a parade person out in the cold and with Coco and the family? Or do you like staying home and watching a movie it's great that the community does stuff like that. So hopefully you're staying engaged with your local communities. The other question I'd ask is like, if you're from Sacramento or Fresno or San Jose, do you like coming to the mountains when our small communities are doing these festivals? Are they fun? Is that a fun time for you to see the local community get out and celebrate? That'd be a really interesting question to know from you readers or listeners. Is like, what is your perspective when you're visiting mountains? Do you like to see the celebrations and festivals that are going on? I know summertime it's big, and that's a tourist attraction. So that's one of the things that's really cool going on in the Sierra. The snow. We had those big storms right before the holiday. And so snow reports, let me go and pull this up. I grabbed a screencast real quick here from On the Snow. I'm going to hit pause on that so I can keep that up there lower. So I go to On Snow all the time. They have the best snow reports, in my opinion, cumulatively, on the snow.com. The big winner from the storms from a mountain perspective for skiers was Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth had 54 inches of snow on top. They've got 169 runs open and 17 of their 24 lifts open at this time. Places like Palisades is doing fine. They got 36 inches on top. 103 of their runs are open. 21 lifts are open. But even down to Sierra Tahoe, they opened up even with a smaller amount. Seems like in the storm, like Kirkwood, Heavenly, South Sierra Tahoe, that central southern area of Lake Tahoe Basin, I got the least amount of snow. It seemed like it hit Sonora Pass down, and then it was north of Lake Tahoe. It seemed like that's the path and the most of the snow that came through that storm. You can see Kirkwood's at 25. They just opened up. Diamond Peak just opened up 32 inches up in Incline Village, and Boreal's been open for a couple weeks with all their snow parks and fun they have in the mountain. So again, check out onthesnow.com. They're a great resource. They send out snow reports all winter long. I used to try to keep up with it and realize that they just do so much better than I do. So, we use them as a resource to try to share information as we can of the valley. If you know a better source out there, let me know what it is. I'll check it out. There's a couple of guys that send me emails and stuff, and they're kind of local, especially around the Palisades, Tahoe area. They do a good job of sending out their storm forecast. It looks like the next storm, if I'm reading it right or hearing right, it looks like about the 16th, 17th of December. They're expecting another wave of storms to come through California and really hit the Sierra. Wondering if that storm will last a little longer, maybe might last all the way into Christmas, which would be really cool to get another really nice storm in December to get that base of snow. Most of our snow, if you don't know the Sierra, this is pretty typical. We get early storm November, getting a nice base down. Occasionally we'll get a storm in December. January we'll usually pick about mid-January, and we'll go mid-January through the end of March. That's kind of dump season, right? So we know this season can get a little, mild, if you will, weather-wise. Great bluebird skies. I was out snowshoeing last week in Red Lake. Got beautiful snow in Red Lake right now. But you get down to like Hope Valley, and you really probably don't need snowshoes. You probably can just walk around. There's snow, but it's not more than a little over ankle deep. But Red Valley had plenty of snow for snowshoeing. So Carson Pass is great option. Up above Silver Lake on 88, great area for snowshoeing. So that's a great area. So like an Iron Mountain, though, was probably a little low. So it's kind of that, you're right in that middle area. But you go down to Bridgeport. Bridgeport's kind of dry right now, but if you climb up Sonora Pass, maybe a little more snow. Mammoth obviously got lots of snow in Mammoth, so if you want to go play in the snow, Mammoth is a great spot. And then further north, Lassen got hit. Lassen got a ton of snow up there. And so you just kind of look at where you're going in the Sierra. It's snow-wise. I saw several snow parks with sleds and stuff are starting to advertise open, and a couple snowmobile operations that are getting going. So, matter of fact, I got some friends that just started off with this free shout out here. I'm going to just be they're friends of mine. So, there's a new outfit going to be called Doing a Big Rentals, a new snowmobile outfit. He's got 6 new sleds. He's going to be doing snow tours in Hope Valley and in Bridgeport. And I believe his website will be up this week. So maybe look him up and check them out. They're going to be new to the rental game here. They've been doing jet skis on the lake for a couple of years, just getting into snowmobiles. So lots of options in the Sierra, so you can take advantage of those. But again, that's doingabigrentals.com. Free shout out to those guys. Anyways, on to our next segment here. Let me go ahead and pull this down, and let's see. I forgot how to pull it down. I'm going to just go and I think I have to let it run now. I'll just let it run time wise. And we'll start getting ready for our next segment here. And what I want to do in this next segment, we've talked about our Christmas traditions, whether it be Christmas trees or dinners or parties or festivals and like that. What I want to do now is kind of talk about and bring up um, some of the other snow options for you right now. What are some options like for maybe for this weekend? Matter of fact, before I jump into the snow, I do have an event I want to tell you about this weekend. I just found out about today. I reached out to them to see if they can get on the podcast here to tell us a little bit more the future. But tomorrow, if you were a bird and wildlife person and you're in the Truckee, Reno region of this country, or even north of there, in Sierra Valley tomorrow, up by Sierraville. This is going to be by Beckensworth and Lake Davis, Portola area of Northern California. They are doing a grand opening of the new nature preserve up in Sierra Valley, and this is something that is organized and put on by the Feather River Association up there, the Land Trust Association, and something that they've developed and um, are ready to showcase. It looks beautiful. If you don't know this area very well, this entire region is a fly zone for birds. So I forget there's a technical term for it. There's a zone in the United States where it's the migration path of the birds. So Mono Lake's on that path. The Carson Valley where we live, we have the same thing. We have an Eagles and Ag thing. Matter of fact, in January, February here, Sierraville, Lake Almanor. They're kind of follow that line right there. It's a huge migratory path for birds, but they're opening that this weekend. It's going to be open on Thursday through Sundays, I guess. They have some trails up there. They're going to be open sun up to sundown every day. And pretty exciting. It's a really cool place. If you've never been to Sierra Valley, it's really beautiful. It's between kind of a bowl area between some mountains. I believe, I don't know the facts in this, but I believe prehistorically it used to be a massive lake, right? So one was another one of those places in California. It used to be a big glacial lake that dried up over hundreds of years ago, whatever. And it actually was kind of same size as Lake Tahoe type size. I mean, it's a big valley, big grass valley, lots of wildlife in the area. So check it out. It's Saturday afternoon. They're open I think at 10 o'clock, and they're just going to be doing things all day. There's a schedule online. We posted an article on Cedar Rec Magazine today on it as well. So take a look at that. But okay, back to snow. Okay, and and if you know this channel at all, you know I'm a snowshoer, and I don't ski. I've tried some cross country skiing. I've done a little snowmobiling, but really we're just talking about what do we travel and get ready for snow. We got Christmas coming up here. People are gonna be heading to Lake Tahoe, get on the mountains, go skiing. There's a couple outfits I know that do snowshoe tours out Truckee, for example. Mammoth, obviously, they got all the winter sports down there as well. So, what is the place to go? And I'm going to tell you today's another one of my favorite places to go. And the first one is going to be a national park. Have you ever gone to Lassen Volcanic National Park in wintertime? It sounds a little crazy, especially if you're maybe from San Francisco and you want to come to the mountains where maybe that's the furthest point for you. But there's ways to get there, and I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Snowshoeing in a volcano. And going up to Sulphur Works and up around the ridge and following some of the ranger trails up there, it's really quite an amazing experience. Now, most people go there to go snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, or sledding. There's a huge sled hill right outside the visitor center. Parents bring their sleds. I've seen guys up there loading their back into their trucks with snow and taking snow back down to like Redding or Red Bluff. And, they're taking snow back to the family for the yard, make a snowman, whatever, right? But it's a great family atmosphere. They're a place that people don't know about this. Well, actually, I should say I didn't know about it, but the skiers know about it. The backcountry skiing in Lassen is kind of legendary. So you got great opportunities for backcountry skiers to get out in the national park and some of these peaks and free ride these mountains. Lots of different slopes and angles. Lots of avalanche danger, too, so they got to know what they're doing up there. But I was, to tell a story, this is probably 7 years ago now. I went up there to work at St. Bernard's Lodge for the night, and it got up in the next morning into a blizzard, literal blizzard. And so I'm an adventurer. I don't care. I'm used to the snow in the mountains. So I headed to the park, which is about 15, 20 minutes up the road from St. Bernard Lodge, there just out of Chester. And we got to the park, went in and said hi to the ranger. They go, "Hey, just so you know, it's quite bad out there. We're actually closing down for the day." And I said, "Okay, well, do you mind if I snowshoe?" And just go up to Sulphur Works. I'm just going to, get some pictures and enjoy the weather. And they go, no, that's fine. As long as you're not going backcountry, we know you're out there. We'll just go ahead and leave. So I thought, great. So I just hopped in. No one in the park whatsoever. There was me and there was some backcountry skiers that were in the parking lot at the time. I didn't know what they were doing. So I just took off my snowshoes and I snowshoed up to Sulphur Works. Now, I forgot my sunglasses, which was a really bad idea. Goggles, sunglasses would have been really good. I actually went a little snow blind up there, walked right into a bank of snow. Had never done that before in my life. So it's serious business, these blizzards up here. You got to be paying attention to it. I'm kind of a veteran at being outdoors with snow, and that one just caught me completely off guard. So, walking along, I just literally walked into the side of a mountain, snow-wise, completely blind. It took me a minute to go find a tree and kind of focus on some dark colors, shook the snow off the branches, and just got my eyes focused again. Got the Sulphur Works, enjoyed, took some pictures. I had this whole place by myself, complete beauty, big old huge snowflakes falling down around me. And so I'm heading back, and sure enough, here's who's coming up the mountain. Those backcountry skiers heading in for a trip up Broke-Off Mountain there in the park. I think that's where they're going, right above. Above they were going up above Sulphur Works on the west side, I guess, which is where Broke-Off's at. But they're heading up that way. And I was telling them, hey guys, be careful, man. It's pretty dangerous out here. But they're telling stories about we come here every year. This is the best skiing in the world. They just ready to chug up this mountain. Again, they disappeared just as fast as I saw them as they passed me because the snow's coming down that hard. I get back to the lodge, and lo and behold, the Rangers didn't leave because they were nervous that we were there, but they were waiting for me. They weren't going to worry about the backcountry skiers. They're going to follow me out basically, which was kind of funny. I sat there and had a cocoa and talked to them for a bit, and then headed back down to St. Bernard Lodge again for the afternoon. Before I did though, as I'm leaving the park, I stopped at the end of the road. Towards the end of the road, there's a snow park. I think it's called McGowan Snow Park. I think it's called McGowan. One of the prettiest areas I've ever snowshoed. It's right outside the park. It's got these big, huge, I think they're sugar pines maybe. Maybe they're Jeffrey pines. Big, big trees with all these smaller fir trees in there too. I'm pretty sure that area hasn't burnt yet. That's still got trees in it. But it was absolutely stunning area to snowshoe. I went back in there and snowshoed for a little bit longer because, again, Sulphur Works and back's pretty short, even though it is uphill the whole way. So I got myself another hour snowshoeing in this beautiful old growth forest right there before I headed back down the mountain. So that's one of my favorite all-time places to snowshoe is Lassen Volcanic National Park. I haven't done Yosemite yet. I have plans to do that this winter. I plan to bring you a whole report about snowshoeing in Yosemite. I'm hoping to get there in January, February, somewhere around there, maybe early March, depending on the season of snow. And look forward to getting into the big trees and snowshoeing in some redwoods, maybe up there as well. So that'll be one of my bucket list things to do for 2025, I guess. And I look forward to doing it. So here's my next question. Where's the best place you've ever gone out and enjoyed the snow? Okay. It could be a ski resort. By all means, you skiers, if you're listening to me, tell me where the best ski spot is at. Because I'm not that guy, right? I've done some cross-country skiing in Kirkwood. Fantastic place, great facility, great rental operation in Kirkwood for cross-country skiing. So if you're coming over 88 or want to get out of Lake Tahoe and go someplace where there's a little bit less crowds and want to go do some cross-country skiing, they do a great groomed meadow out there and then a groomed trail that goes up in the backcountry there too. So that's a really nice place. Matter of fact, I snowshoe in that area a lot. But their cross-country ski outfit in Kirkwood, I highly recommend that. So a really cool thing. When I was over there this last weekend, Cable's Lake still had water showing. Wasn't frozen over yet, although the ice was starting to show. Red Lake was frozen, though. There were ice fishermen and hockey players on Red Lake this last weekend. So they're out there, although I'm not sure if the 50-degree weather this week's done that ice, but I was kind of shocked. Let's see. Silver Lake still had water showing too, although the ice again is starting to show in that. Silver Lake tends to stay, in my opinion, a little more water most of the year. I know it freezes over as well, but I've been out there a lot of times right up into January and still see water out of Silver Lake because they drain that down. There's just this deep pool, I think, out there. But that's it. That's just one of those cool areas on Highway 88 to get out and explore as well. Anytime you got between like Iron Mountain, which is on 88, all the way into Carson Pass, any of that area in there where you can find some parking, get your car off the road and just go. Some beautiful area just to traipse around the woods and the mountainsides, and great area to do that. You know me, I don't go to Tahoe very often because of the crowds, but there's lots of places on the other side of Lake Tahoe as well. The other thing to think about, and a lot of people forget about this, is up at Great Eagle, California, in Plumas County, is the Johnsville old ski resort up there. Well, they have you can drive all up to the ski resort. They have parking up there, and then that whole hillside. There's no ski lifts up there anymore. Although I think they're putting a rope tow in this year. But there's skiing. There's sledding up there. There's great cross country, snowshoeing area. The whole mountainside. Great access point. Really pretty vista views over Plumas County up there. So that's another great option. Just about. Well, it's not even an hour out of Truckee. So those are all options. I know that there's also a great snowshoe company in Truckee that does snowshoeing up there and does some tours if you're into that. So that is really kind of what I have for you guys today as far as winter festivals and traditions. Those are kind of what we're at. I told you about the new bird exhibit up in Sierra Valley. Go and check it out. I think that's going to be a nice exhibit up there, a great little way for tourists to check in. Here in the Carson Valley and Virginia City, we have our Christmas lighting and parade celebrations. If you're coming up Highway 395 this week, no, from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock tomorrow, 395 will be closed. You'll have to take a detour because we have our parade in town, and we're going to be enjoying a little mountain life here in the Carson Valley. So wherever you're at today, we hope the Sierra is in your future. We hope you can see the snow. We hope that excites you, and you're ready to come play, and you're ready for a great holiday season with your family and friends wherever you're at. Thank you for being a listener of Sierra Rec Now podcast, for seeing our Sierra Rec magazine. Our winter edition is still out. You can check it out online, SierraRecMagazine.com. We got free subscriptions. You can check out the magazine, get a free subscription, get the email to your box 6 times a year, join our community and newsletter, and we send out some information. Of course, share with your friends this podcast. We are super excited about our stats this year. Lots of growth just because we committed to doing it all the time. And I'm not going to quite make 52 weeks, right? A little grace on me. It's my first year trying to do the whole year, but I think we're going to be around 42 complete shows for the year, which isn't bad. It means I missed 10. Busy life schedule. I was backpacking sometimes, but we're glad to be on this channel with you guys. We're glad that you would take time and listen to reports of the Sierra. If you have businesses that you'd love to have highlighted in the show, if you have places in the Sierra that you'd love to have me cover and tell about stories, or maybe share some information, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Leave me a note, send me an email, charliepankey@SierraRecMagazine.com. Let me know how we can share more of the Sierra with your friends, or help you discover. And that's our biggest goal, is help you discover more of the Sierra. Instead of all going to the same place all the time, I'd love to see us all spread out and see more, right? See everything. Like, you've got all the way down to Kernville, all the way up to Lassen Volcanic National Park. There's a big area with a big wide mountain range with lots of playgrounds. And that's our goal here throughout the year, is just to share more stories and more tips and more ideas for you to spread out and see more of the Sierra, maybe in a different way. This last year, we learned how to paddleboard. If you haven't been following me, I've never paddled before. So I got a paddleboard this year, and Outdoor Masters, supplied me with a paddleboard so I could do the story on series this summer. And so we learned how to paddleboard. I backpacked. There's all those different things you can do, so you can go to places and try something different that you've never done before. So that's our goal. 2025 is coming up. We have a whole package ready to go that we're getting wrapped up right now and buttoned up about where we're going to cover in 2025. So if you have any ideas, shoot them our way. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what needs to be covered next in the Sierra. Other than that, if I don't talk to you or you miss my next episodes, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, wherever you're at, and we look forward to bringing you more Sierra soon. Have a great day.